learn about the kindergarten program in Durham Public Schools. I'm Suzanne Cotterman, and I'm the director for the Office of Early Education in Durham Public Schools. And over the next few minutes, we'll provide an overview of the kindergarten program, including the curriculum, the supports that we offer, a typical day, and how to support your child through the process. So who are we? This slide showcases information about our schools, our student-teacher ratios, and our student demographic information. Every day, over 4,000 staff are serving approximately 31,000 students who are enrolled in our 54 schools. Durham's a diverse county that is evident in all of our schools. Our students have an array of talents, abilities, and needs. In DPS, we're continuously using our many resources to help our students succeed. So why should you choose Durham Public Schools? Well, this slide shows some of our district's recent achievements that are points of pride for Durham Public Schools. This is merely a snapshot of the great things that are happening in all of our schools. Your child will be part of a progressive and an innovative district. Durham Public Schools has much to offer our children. Our teachers use a variety of instructional approaches because we know children learn in very different ways. We realize that there may be a first experience for a child in a classroom, and for other children, they've been in a classroom before and they're quite familiar. We want to make sure that every child feels safe and nurtured, and that our children build relationships and friendships with adults and their peers. We want to make sure children have a strong academic foundation and also ensure that they build good social and emotional skills and habits. The habits that a child develops in kindergarten are the foundation for a lifelong of learning. This slide shows you the 5 priorities of our strategic plan. Educators, students, parents, and community members came together to create this plan, and it guides our daily work. It was created in January 2020, and additional addendum strategies were added that provided an additional focus on pre-K, special education, counselors, English as a second language, career and technical education, and multilingual support. While we've always focused on those priorities, we cannot accomplish our goals without support from the community. We have developed a comprehensive plan that ensures the best education for all of our students. And now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Lo DeWalt, who will talk to you about the standard course of study.
Hi, everyone. I am Lo DeWalt. I am the K-5 School Programs and Literacy Integration Coordinator. It is great to be here with all of you this evening. So you might be wondering, what exactly will my child learn in kindergarten in Durham Public Schools? Well, we follow the North Carolina Standard Course of Study. And so all kindergartners in Durham receive a comprehensive and holistic education that crosses content disciplines, each of which you can see listed out ahead of you. In arts education, that includes visual arts, music, dance, PE and physical education, and play. Information and technology is incredibly important, even in kindergarten. As you know, especially over this past year, technology has proven more important than ever, and DPS is proud to say that we are a one-to-one district, which means each student will have their own device provided to them to access technology throughout their school career. That doesn't mean that your kindergartner will only be on a computer all day long. There's plenty of time for them to have hands-on tactile experiences as well, but they will be able, right from the beginning of their school career, to engage with technology for the 21st century. You'll also see guidance and healthful living listed. The social and emotional lives of our students are equally as important as their academic lives. And so those are core components of what we study in kindergarten as well. On the other side of the screen, you'll see English, math, science, and social studies. Those are our core content areas for kindergarten. I'll get into them a little bit later, but those are sort of the heart of kindergarten academics. Sue, if you can go to the next slide, please. And for parents that really want to dig deep into the standards and what their child will be learning, there is a quick reference guide that is provided by the North Carolina Department of Instruction. So if you really want to see exactly what's listed, this is a great resource and can be found on the DPI website. And we will also share the link with families as well if you want to take some time to read it yourself. So what exactly does kindergarten curriculum look like? Well, our literacy curriculum is rooted in the science of reading. So that means all kindergartners study print concepts, letter sound, letter recognition, word patterns, rhyme schemes, foundational pieces to make sure that your child has a strong start to be reading and to have a love of language. Every day in their literacy block, they have opportunities to read, write, speak, listen together to build those language foundations to recognize words and sentences and alphabetical principles, and to play with language through phonological awareness. You will notice in literacy, your child might have opportunities for both informal and formal assessments to support their growth as both a reader and writer, so that their teacher knows the next step for their learning to make sure that they are on the right path. Our adopted programs for literacy depends on which school your child attends, but will either be HMH into reading or American Reading Company, what we call ARC. Both literacy programs provide access to complex texts, authentic texts, and great resources that reflect the diversity that is in our community and engage students with books that they want to be reading. In math, students will be really working on developing their number sense and a deep understanding of individual numbers, quantities, how numbers relate to each other, particularly the numbers 1 to 20. Kindergartners are not expected to write equations or have symbols for addition and subtraction, but they do explore situational word problems, blending numbers, as well as geometry and other mathematical concepts. All of that is done through hands-on learning and exploration. Just like in literacy, there'll be formal and informal assessments so that your teacher knows the next right step for your child. And our adopted math program is called Eureka. So your student will, you'll see they'll have your green Eureka books to help them grow as mathematicians. Of course, we still have science, social studies, and technology. All of those pieces are integrated throughout their day to make sure that they have hands-on experience, fun with the learning, and the concepts that are required in the North Carolina Standard Course of Study. Next slide, please. Thank you. So what does it look like a typical day in kindergarten? So a daily schedule might vary from school to school. What we have here is just a common components that might be included in a classroom, but morning meeting is very typical. That's a time for your student to feel and belong as part of their class community. Generally, there's also a literacy block that will include whole group instruction, meaning everybody in the class is learning the same thing at the same time, as well as differentiated instruction where students will be broken into smaller groups. Some might be learning with the teachers and others will be exploring literacy centers, practicing all the skills it takes to become a great reader and writer. The same is true in social studies, which is often integrated into that literacy block. The math block is the same process. There'll be time for both whole group learning as well as differentiated and individual support to make sure that your child is receiving the instruction that they need. I've said this before, but in science, it is all about the hands-on learning to make sure that your students are engaged with both science and technology. And at all of our schools, we also have time in the kindergarten day for specials, arts, music, PE. Breakfast and lunch are provided, and of course, each school has safety measures in place for COVID-19. They've done a phenomenal job this year with keeping our students safe and healthy. That includes giving students lots of movement breaks and time to be a kindergartner. I want to just say one more thing, which is about the centers in the literacy block and math block. So in most classrooms, students will rotate through different centers, and they'll be working on topics in class that are integrated with other subjects like science or social studies. But it gives your student an opportunity for independent practice to show their word work or reading or writing, where they can be differentiated to meet the needs that your child needs and the pieces that they need to practice to be a successful reader, writer, and mathematician. Next slide, please. Thank you. I touched on this a bit earlier, but we know that in order for students to be successful, both inside our classrooms and out in the world, strong social and emotional skills are crucial to their development. Our elementary schools have counselors, social workers, and psychologists who will help to support your child in their transition to kindergarten. Our school staff is skilled at using research-based strategies that build strong character while engaging students in meaningful learning experiences. Most students will have the opportunity to have guidance lessons. There's character traits of the month that students will discover. So we make sure that their education is holistic. It is not just about the academics. It's also about their growing as a human being. Next slide, please. For differentiation, we know that one size does not fit all when it comes to student learning. Differentiation means that your child's instruction will be tailored and built upon where they currently are in terms of knowledge and skills. That's why those literacy and math assessments are so important, so your teacher knows just the next right step to take. Each classroom will provide a loving and caring environment, and schools are prepared to serve students whether they are excelling at learning or if they might need an additional support on a particular skill or standard. Each school has an academically and or intellectually gifted specialist. They're called the AIG teacher, and that person serves kindergartners and collaborates with the classroom teachers to make sure that they are providing advanced learning opportunities to our students. Each school also has an exceptional children's department, which specializes in instruction should your child be identified as a student with a disability, so we can make sure that their individual needs are being met.
Ways to support your child and connect with your child's school. Read to your child every day. We know that research shows that reading to children builds their vocabulary and helps them develop a love for reading. Make sure that you're communicating with your child's teacher. It's helpful to establish some kind of communication system with the teacher so you can support your child at home and let your teacher know if you're having any concerns. You can volunteer at your child's school. We have an established volunteer process that all of our volunteers go through, and you can find information about that online. It's an online registration process that you will complete before working in your child's school. You can also join school improvement committees. We're always looking for parents to help us make decisions and to help us inform improvements for our schools. As you can see, there are other ways that you can also help out in your school, and you'll see them listed on the slide in front of you. The school needs parent input in order to inform the improvements and to make major decisions. Share your talents and skills. Make learning fun. Take advantage of opportunities in the school community and everyday activities, and attend any school meetings that you can attend. Also, this year, we have posted some countdown to kindergarten videos on our website. As you see, if you go to dpsnc.net, you will find these videos under the kindergarten link. And I've put 3 examples here on this slide. There will be several more, including ones on health and safety, child nutrition, transportation. These are short informational videos that you can click on one or watch them all to find information that will help you as you look at your child entering kindergarten and find out more about the experience in DPS for kindergarten students. DPS will be starting something new called navigation stations to support families with enrollment for kindergarten. As you can see on the slide, right now there are 4 locations that are scheduled. If you would come to those locations and bring your child's birth certificate and proof of domicile, which means proof of where you live, so that would be either a lease or a mortgage statement, or a bill from electric company with your address on it. Bring those documents with you, and someone from DPS will be on site to help you enroll in our online platform. Enrolling early is really important for every family because it connects you with your school, and it helps you make sure that you're not missing any important events that your school is having around transition to kindergarten. We look forward to seeing everyone at these events. And speaking of registering your child for school, it's very simple to do. If you go to www.dpsnc.net and go under the enrollment tab for kindergarten, there is an online portal and you can upload your documents, fill out the information, and hit submit, and your child will be enrolled. It's pretty simple. If you have questions, you can contact the Office of Student Assignment, or if you need assistance, Spanish assistance, there's the number on the screen as well that you can contact, and we will walk you through how to do that. Remember that you will need a health assessment form and you will also need immunizations, but those don't need to be turned in until the first 30 days of school. So I would suggest that, as we know, school starts, the doctor's offices will get very, very busy, that you make an appointment now. Those health forms are good for 1 year. So if you go over the summer, you will have your health form and you won't have to worry about it. We are so excited to have you join us in DPS for kindergarten, and we look forward to helping your children grow and become functional, literate, wonderful citizens in DPS. And I think we do have some time to take some questions, if there's any questions. Do we have any questions? So thank you for your question. What is the deadline to enroll your child? Right now, there is not a specific deadline. Of course, your child needs to be enrolled before the first day of school. But remember, the earlier you enroll, the better off you'll be because you'll be connected with your school. And many of our schools are having events for kindergartners that are coming in. Some of them have popsicles on the playground. Some of them have school events with tours where you get to meet the kindergarten teachers and you get to see the classrooms and those kinds of things. So please, please, please enroll as soon as possible because that will help connect you early with your school and allow you to share information about your child because we know each child is unique.
I will also add to that enrolling early is great because it helps us to make sure that we have everything ready for your child on the first day, all of the materials that they need, all of their technology pieces, so that there's no delay between the start of kindergarten and when your child can just hit the ground running.
Thank you. Also, there's a question about someone who is registered for a year-round school at Holt, and they'd like to know when they can plan to hear from the school. As you know, our teachers are off when school ends, and so they begin the week before school starts, and that's when they'll get their class list. So expect to hear from your classroom teacher approximately a week before school begins. They will definitely contact you, let you know what materials you need to bring, talk about their classroom, what the schedule looks like, all those kinds of things. So if you haven't heard anything yet, don't worry, you will. They will be getting their new class lists and getting ready to rock and roll with your children.
And generally, schools start communicating to families I would say like mid to late July if you're in a traditional calendar year. So if you haven't heard anything yet, it's okay. As long as you filled out the application, you're all set.
Great. Also, someone asked about the link for the summer learning program. Yes, Operation Kindergarten, Mission Possible, not impossible, Mission Possible, um, is definitely taking applications right now. It is for rising kindergartners that will attend DPS. You do not have to be currently a DPS preschool student to enroll, but you do have to be enrolled in our system for kindergarten in order to apply. So if you have not enrolled yet, you can certainly enroll and then fill out that application. The reason why is we have to have that enrollment information in order to have you attend our schools. Thank you for putting up the Operation Mission Possible information. Any other questions? We know that you're going to think about a million of them once we are done here today, and that's okay. Please feel free to, give us a call. Someone would like to know, what do they need to register their child again? There's two main things that you must have in order to complete that enrollment. You can start in the online portal, but in order to actually hit submit, you have to upload a birth certificate and you have to upload proof of domicile, which simply is a fancy way of saying proof that you live where you say you live. So on our website, if you look under the enrollment tab, there's actually a complete list of all the items that you can use to register for kindergarten. There are quite a few, and we know that there are some families who may live with a relative and they may not have a lease or those kinds of things. There is an affidavit form that you can also fill out. So there's lots of information on our website of exactly what you need. But the two really important things are a copy of your child's birth certificate and that proof of where you live. Those are the two most important things we need. Someone asked another question. Yes, you can certainly submit your immunization form to your school once your child starts. You have 30 days from the first day of school to submit that information. So you can just give it to your child's teacher once they start. Don't let that stop you from enrolling. We want you to enroll now. Don't worry about the immunizations or getting your child into the doctor right away. You have 30 days from the date school starts to get those documents in.
I will say, that said, doctors do fill up. So if you already have an appointment for your child scheduled for something else and you're going in anyway, that's a great time to make sure that you go ahead and get those records. Also, often community health partners will have pop-up sessions over the summer. So keep an eye out for information that will be forthcoming about where those sessions might be held, if any.
And remember that if you've had a doctor's visit for your child within the last, 6 months, those visits are good for a year. So you don't have to go back to the doctor again, other than just having them fill out the form. So, if you just took your child for a well child visit in April, you can use that information. Just give the form to your doctor and they'd be happy to fill it out for you. Thank you for asking. Someone said they registered for the summer learning program and they'd like to know whether their child is in or not. We are sending out that information this week. So you should hear. I will tell you that we are very, very close to full, but pretty much anyone who's registered so far probably will get a spot. But you'll get an email confirmation letting you know that your child is in and where your child is assigned and what else, anything else that you need to do. Those should be coming out this week. Other questions? These are all great questions. We have about 5 minutes left if you have any questions. You are welcome. We are so lucky in Durham Public Schools. We have wonderful kindergarten teachers who care so much about our children and really work very, very hard to make our children feel safe and nurtured and loved, as well as advancing their skills. So we're very proud of our program. Great question. Someone would like to know what's the youngest age for a student to start in kindergarten. You have to be 5 by August 31st of this year. So if your child's turning 5 before August 31st, you are able to register for kindergarten. I will also talk about, someone asked a question about early entry for kindergarten. So we do sometimes have parents who ask us about children who will not be quite 5 by August 31st and how do they get into school. There is an early entry process. It is detailed on our kindergarten page on our website. It's a quite extensive process. Your child needs to score in the top 99th percentile on testing in either math or literacy. And the testing is at family expense, but there's lots of forms and information on that website for you to look at and fill out. The other piece that certainly would play into that is the maturity level of your child. Sometimes our kids are not ready to be in kindergarten yet, so you would want to explore that piece as well. But certainly look at our website. All that information is right there for you. Other questions? Thank you. That's a great question. Is it important for a child to attend a preschool prior to kindergarten? Well, I do preschool, so I think it's always important for a child to attend preschool. However, we have lots of students who come to us who have never attended any preschool and they do very, very well. So, certainly we would love to have you in our preschool program, and it actually is open right now, the application process, and you can, and actually I'll drop the number in the chat for you of where you can call to get information about that. It's also an online process. But if your child did not attend a preschool program, please don't worry. We can teach them what they need to know. Again, we differentiate our instruction. We meet your child where they are, and we help them to learn. So, it's okay if they're not, if you don't feel like they have all the information that they need. We got it. We got it for you. All right. I think we have time for maybe one more question. And Patricia, can you drop the number in the chat for the preschool application? It's 1-833 pre-K, PREK, EDU.
There is no cost for kindergarten. It is free to enroll your child in Durham Public Schools, and so there's no additional cost to sign your child up for kindergarten.
And many of our pre-K programs are free as well. So please explore that. I know sometimes we get parents who think that they won't qualify for our pre-K programs, but we have pre-K programs for everyone. So please, 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 please sign up for pre-K as well as kindergarten. Yes, you are required to live in Durham County in order to attend kindergarten in Durham or pre-K. All right. Well, I think we're winding up, but thank you everyone so much for being here. I know Dr. DeWalt and I are extremely happy to get to share information with you.
We're very, very excited to meet your kindergartners and to welcome them into the Durham Public Schools family.
We are so excited to have them come. There's nothing better than that first day of school, watching all those faces of kids that are so excited to get to their new school and to meet their teacher, and we just can't wait. So please enroll as soon as possible, and thank you for being here and for all your great questions. We appreciate it. Have a great night.